It is. Yeah, I don't know anything about racing. This is true. You're right. You're in the wrong show.
Yeah.
You're watching the wrong show if you want to hear like super engineer stuff. Today we got super engineer stuff coming at you, everybody.
There you go.
For sure. Always.
Always, baby. Always. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
What's going on?
Got a lot of stuff going on in sports today. We got game 5.
Yep.
Bruins and Panthers. And basketball, the NBA. NBA is crazy. I know this year's team is still in it right now, so you're probably pretty excited about that.
They keep shooting free throws like with that.
Although we lost, was it yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But hey, they're tied at 2 right now, so it's a good series there.
Luka isn't even their best player right now.
Who is it?
Who's the best player? Name. I forget the other guy, the one who's playing really good. I forget his name.
Yeah, I mean PJ Washington is getting wide open. Is getting wide open shots because everyone's doubling Luka.
Yeah, I don't even know half the guys in the NBA anymore.
I know.
It's changed so much. It's crazy. I saw the lineups the other day, and I'm like, I was just looking at rosters, and I'm like, okay, this roster looks good, but I don't know that guy, and that guy. So, and then the other roster, I'm like, who the hell is that?
And it's crazy.
Wins? What?
It's crazy because all these teams with all these like players that we don't know who they are, they're not superstars. They're the ones that are winning. And like, you got the Suns that have 3, possibly top 10, top 12 players in the NBA, and they can't even get past the first round.
Man, that's got a lot to do with coaching too, man. That's got a lot to do with coaching, I think. But whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, we're not here to talk basketball. No. We're here to talk Formula 1, baby. It's Imola week. Is it technically called the Italian Grand Prix? No, right?
No, it's I've got it on the bottom.
Yeah, it's a long
Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
Yeah.
No, but even more than that, it's like the the cruises. Emilia-Romagna.
Yeah, the actual name is like. Hold on, actually, I have it somewhere. Hold on, it is Formula 1 MSC Cruises Grand Premio del Made in Italy e della Emilia-Romagna 2024.
Exactly.
Christ, bro. Money, bro. Money. That's it.
I got it through a Made in Italy in there.
I like that.
That was very critical.
Yeah.
We'll keep it to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I like that one better.
I think this race might hold the cake for the most names in F1 history because it was the San Marino Grand Prix, the Imola Grand Prix. I mean, this thing's been called so many different things throughout the years. It's ridiculous.
For sure. But listen, we got some exciting stuff for this one, right? I mean, McLaren's coming with Piastri's coming with 100% upgrades. You've got the Tifosi with the new upgrades. They've done a lot of work. Obviously, I know they're ground. They've got a new floor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a lot of different design tweaks in that. What is it? The SF24 or whatever it is.
Whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah, whatever the hell they're calling it now. Got a little bit of different style on the rear wing. They've got in the intakes, right? So it's a lot of different little concepts here and there, and so I'd be interested to see. They said that they've been able to get a lot of pace out of that. So I know
they used a filming day to test it. So
right. Oh, that's right. They did.
Just not exactly legal, but whatever at this point.
Hey man,
it's Ferrari and it's in Italy. It's Ferrari and it's in Italy.
That's the FIA. I mean, in the Formula 1, they make up shit as they go.
They use like cars from previous years to do film days, not new components on the car.
Unbelievable. Anyway. Shout out to Carly, Brandon, Jane, and Carly again.
Shout out to Jane.
Yes.
Evan informed us that you have purchased shirts for us, so we're looking forward to.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I heard you got me a medium, so that's perfect for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, guys, all right. So we're back in.
Wait. We got. I know we talked about this pre-show, but Evan's hat is just rocking it.
That
right
is
now.
a sweet hat. That is a sweet hat. You're right.
Before you yell technology at me, there we go.
You look like Julius Caesar with those.
Yep.
With that on the bill.
That was a
shout out to Mom again.
Nice. That was a sweet classic logo there.
Yeah, man. You're styling and profiling today, daddy.
And then the Jazz is going Red Sox on us here.
Yeah. Whatever. I just had to find another hat. I had to find a different hat to wear, man. I keep wearing the same crap all the time. So, but anyways, as I mentioned, right, we're back in Europe. We've got
first race,
an exciting race over in Italy, Emilia-Romagna, and I think that you're gonna see some of these teams pull out some of the stops with their upgrades. And, as I mentioned earlier, Ferrari, McLaren, also. But this is a really cool track. I think that it's obviously one of the old school tracks from 1980, 63 laps, one of the longer tracks also. You'll have just one. It looks like just one DRS zone in this one, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's just one DRS. Yes. So a little more on the how can I say? I don't want to say on the traditional side, but look, it's a quicker time around the circuit completely. You've got 63 laps. This is
it is
an opportunity for everything to go wrong.
It's an old school track, so
very much so.
Right.
They've made some changes to this track over the years, obviously, to make it safer. We all know for all the Formula One fans out there, you guys know the history of this track. 30 years ago, you had probably one of the greatest drivers in the history of Formula One, Ayrton Senna, crash there and pass away. And this is going to be an interesting year because it is that 30th year anniversary of when him and Roland Ratzenberger both passed away. They added those curves or those chicanes right there in turns. 2, 3, and 4, and 5 and 6. Both of those chicanes were added because of those crashes. Because that this has always traditionally been such a fast track. This is in that same vein as Monza, where they just wanted a track that they could just go flat out, and Ferrari could show everybody else how to make an engine go 200 miles per hour in 1955. Or 63 when this all was going on. So that's how this is, or that's the reason why we have all these chicanes in here. But it's still a fantastic track, and one of those like we said before, a historical track.
Yeah, this is I know this is made for Ferrari, but this is still, we're talking about
everything's a Red Bull track.
Everything's a Red Bull track.
Everything's a Red Bull track now.
So, but some teams, like I mentioned, Ferrari, McLaren, they've got an opportunity to make some noise here at Imola. And is there anything that you are kind of excited to see from this track? I know you're obviously big time old school guy as well, so you love all the history of Imola and good, bad, and ugly. But there's been some pretty incredible racing done here as well.
Yeah, it's a tricky circuit. It's very technical, as Evan said. The added chicanes not only made safer, made it a little bit more difficult. So should be.
Wait a second. Hold the phones, everybody. Hold up. I wish we had like a special thing. Alex, what's up, Al?
Man,
late nights with Alex.
Jack Daniels last week, Alex this week. Man, what is
I know.
Jesus Christ.
All the old school people coming back.
Also, teach me to run my mouth. His mom bought us hats now. Thank you again. We do not need to empty the credit card.
I know.
I really appreciate it. But
that's what she does. That's what she does.
An amazing happy Mother's Day to you, James.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. This guy does a show with me. He's all right, man. He's all right.
So Alex was from the one time we did a whatchamacallit. Oh God, what is the Twitter live thing?
Yeah, those Twitter. I don't know what it's called.
What are they called? God, I can't believe I'm forgetting it.
God,
we stopped doing them.
Thank God we did.
We did one
Twitter Hangouts or something like that.
It's not. It's the God. I cannot
The
believe
thing
I
at the
forgot
top, you know, where you can kind of
Yeah.
see them talking
Yeah.
live. I forgot
I
what it's
cannot
called.
believe I forgot
But
what they called it. We did one time.
We had Alex and we had a guy from Kenya on.
Kenya on there arguing with us.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So great. And hey.
And Alex had
shout out to
Spaces.
Twitter
That's what's
Spaces.
called,
There you go.
Spaces.
I cannot believe I forgot that. And Alex had just had a baby, so he was whispering in dulcet tones, and that's where he got the
Late Night with Alex.
Oh nice. Man, we appreciate you coming on, man. Good to see you out here, man. Appreciate it. So let's talk a little bit about excuse me. So this time we're going on, all the way to the end of the other side of the spectrum here when it comes to tires, going with the C3 through the C5. Is that because of how many straights and how much, how much less? I guess you're not going to have so many curves. It's some chicanes here and there, but you still got a lot of straight awesome. And racing, right? So is that kind of the reason why they're going C3 to C5 here?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. This is again, another one of those tracks that they kind of know, what they're getting into coming over or going over there. They've probably done plenty of testing over, with Pirelli being an Italian, manufacturer. They've probably done plenty of testing with those tires in Imola, in that environment. It's all about humidity. It's all about temperature. It's all about, the temperature of the track with the asphalt and what materials they use for the asphalt and stuff like that. So they have a lot of information about, this particular track. So they know that they can go with what is kind of the middle of the road tire in the C3 as their hardest tire and still be good and still be able to have that be, the longest lasting tire in, on the track, So we're probably going to see a lot of still, the softs being used for qualifying and the medium and hards during race day, because that's just, unless somebody really tries to go crazy and put that soft on in the beginning.
Do you think we'll see less? You think we'll see less pitting as well? Just because there isn't that much, twisting and turning and low speed to high speed. It's a lot of high speed, and so straight line stuff. If you're really not doing anything stupid or locking up too much on these chicanes and whatnot, you should be able to go long on some of these tires. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally this has always been a kind of a 1 to 2 stop race. I don't think it's ever been anything more than that. Maybe that's why they're going a little bit softer also, maybe they want to, kind of force that 2 stop, strategy, because what we've seen a lot nowadays is, and, it even happened in Miami, is that you have that 1 stop. It's so powerful if you get it right, that there's no coming back from it. And, if you add that extra stop in there by maybe going a little bit softer on the tires, maybe they wear a little bit quicker, that kind of adds in a little bit more of that randomness that can happen. So.
Right. No, I get you.
Yeah, and they actually this isn't the tire choice, not just for Imola, but also for Monaco and Montreal. So
oh wow,
they have to have it for Monaco. You got to have the softest tires on Monaco because that circuit's so tight.
This is true.
Yeah, but they've gone for the next 3 with the same.
Interesting.
Which.
What are the next 3? You said this one. After this one, it's Monaco.
Monaco on Memorial Day weekend, and then Montreal after.
And then Montreal, so they come back after that. Interesting. FP1 starts at 7:30 in the morning on the 17th, which is that Thursday or is that Friday?
The 17th is Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to have a proper normal schedule again.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It's crazy. 7:30 FP1, FP2 at 11, and then you've got qualifying on Saturday at 10 a.m. along with the race on Sunday at 9 a.m. Nice. I love this schedule.
Our first European race, we get proper scheduling.
I know. This is definitely my favorite schedule. Nice. Okay. All right. Weather seems to be okay. A little warm, but maybe not so bad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty ideal for racing conditions.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So that looks good. We know that anything can change.
Well, we like the rain just because Max is so dominant that he wants something to screw something up. Like maybe that'll cause Stroll to crash and that'll get us. But the reality is as much as that's entertaining, that's kind of manufactured entertainment. these are like perfect conditions to really like
max
out the cars, which is kind of what you want to see too. So
let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys something. You brought something up, Fish, right? The Red Bulls are still obviously the cream of the crop here, but are we seeing some of these teams really legitimately catching up a little bit to that Red Bull, or are we just seeing Red Bull kind of, eating crap per se, and not really focusing in on smoking everybody? Because
I'm sorry, you were trying to go full Miami, but then you didn't want to cuss. So you went eating crap. Everyone from Miami knows the phrase that everyone from Miami says, and it's not eating crap. Anyway,
no, it's not.
It's not.
I had to hold myself back there.
I know, it's good.
I'm glad you realized that, Vish.
I mean, come on.
That was a pro radio move right there. Yeah, pro broadcasting move right there.
Oh man, Jesus Christ! But anyways, what do you guys think? Leave me alone, damn it.
Realistically, I think that we kind of have seen this throughout the whole year, though. I mean, Max, yes, he's been winning, but has he been winning by the 18, 19, 20 seconds every single race? I mean, we had legitimately Lando Norris pulling away from him in the last race to get that 7-second gap by the end of the race, which is something we've never seen. I mean, I understand McLaren had those upgrades, but I mean, we haven't seen a car dominate over that Red Bull ever. Even bad tires, brand new tires, whatever, the situation may be, we haven't seen a car just pull away from him like that in a long time. And, like I said, if you look back at all the other races, even the races that, it's Checo in second place. Max hasn't been winning by the 18, 19, 20 seconds that he usually wins by. It's 10 seconds, it's 8 seconds, it's 7 seconds. It's, so there is that limit that these other teams are catching up. Whether they've got all the way and can, pass them, that's always going to be the question, because that car's so dominant.
Yeah, I think the one thing, like I agree with Evan, it's not been as, well, especially because Checo's not really, he's much closer to the field, but, the last race, obviously Max could not, Lando opened the gap back up, but we don't know how much the car was damaged by his off-roading. So I'll be interested to see, when he ran through that baller, it did catch on his wing. And they didn't replace the wing or anything. So, he kind of drove with that. So there's probably some minor damage, which, can cost you, a few tenths, which is enough to allow that. So it'll be interesting to see now what they and obviously Red Bull's going to bring upgrades too. They're not sitting on their hands. So I'm not optimistic. I think what's happened now is, as opposed to, let's say last year, if what happened in Miami happened, oh, great, Lando caught a break. He can finish second now because Max is going to pass him in a few turns. Yeah. Instead he won the race. So that's the difference. It's more competitive, but, if the Red Bull's not broken and Max is going to win. I mean, it's something has to happen.
Agreed.
I mean, that was the first race. Miami was the first race that he finished and didn't win.
Yeah.
Since the middle of last year, I think, when Checo was winning those races at the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
and then Max kind of got it going and it was done, other than Carlos in Singapore. So and then Carlos again this year when Max DNF. So there are some positive signs that the gap is closing, but it's still a long way to go. And you got to wonder, if they actually close it fully before new car design in a couple of years. So
for 2026.
Yeah, so it's not.
But it's definitely in a positive way. I mean, it's definitely moving in a positive direction.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it is. Before we get to some big news, because obviously there's still some rumors out there on a certain big name, on the biggest name in Formula One that's not a racer, a race car driver. Some of the drivers that you guys are watching, right? Some of the drivers and the teams that you guys are watching this weekend coming up.
I want to see how Oscar Piastri does. That McLaren showed it's got pace and down here in Miami, and he was only at 50% of the upgrades. I mean, before he got punted at the end of the race, he was running a pretty decent race the entire time. He was up in the top, 5, 6 throughout the entire race. Now he's going to have the full complement of upgrades, the same as Lando had. I want to see what he does. I think, he's shown that he's a quality F1 driver, more than some of his other, rookie or, second year drivers that have been out there. He's kind of become the class of that generation of drivers. And I think that, I want to see him with these upgrades in Imola, and see how he can compete, whether it's, in qualifying or going into the race as well.
What about you, Vish? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm looking at Carlos. He's the man who wins races. So do something, make it happen. Smooth operator. Let's go.
Well,
smooth operator.
This is a Ferrari track, so I think that I'm just looking at I'm looking at the Reds altogether too. I mean, both sides and Leclerc.
Reds without the blue accent from
unless they might keep that HP logo on there. So who knows? That is blue.
Speaking of liveries, did you guys see that McLaren might be going for the Marlboro livery?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. For Imola, was it for this one?
It was for this one.
Oh, that
they were talking about it because that's the livery for what's the name that passed away?
Senna.
Senna.
Because when he drove for McLaren, they had that Marlboro livery. So there's been like clothing and stuff that they've been showing off, in the marketing to have that color scheme going into this race, and that's why they're saying there might be a livery change for it, which would be ridiculous. That new car with that livery, I've seen some renders; it looks beautiful.
That'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool without the Marlboro sign on it, though. Of course.
Oh, for sure.
No
more cigarettes.
Nope, can't do that anymore. Yeah, I like to see what they do with these upgrades that they're going to bring, and see if they can kind of put their stamp on this race a little bit. So should be fun to watch. I know that we've got a couple of other things that we want to cover there, but come on, is nobody excited about Adrian Newey? Coming to Ferrari.
He's not going to Ferrari.
Come on, why not? Why is he going to Ferrari?
He's not going to Ferrari because
where is he going to go?
He wants control, and at the end of the day, Ferrari won't give people that control. It doesn't matter who's running Ferrari. At the end of the day, the Ferrari head honchos in Ferrari don't want to give one person that much control. That's how it's always been.
You don't want to see total domination.
I would love to see Ferrari come back and dominate. I mean, Michael Schumacher was the last time that they were really up there. I mean, Kimi did great for them for a little while in the mid-2000s, but when Michael Schumacher was dominating, I loved Michael Schumacher back then. He was great. I love the battles between him and the David Coulthards and stuff like that with McLaren back then. It was fantastic. Ralph Schumacher's and the Juan Pablo Montoya's, those were some of the best races with the best sounding cars ever in Formula One history, but at the end of the day, I just don't see Ferrari giving up that much power to one person, for their complete design. What, the only question would be is if, Lewis has that much sway already. If Lewis has that much sway and comes in and goes, I want him now, then maybe they do it. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm still going Aston Martin. I still say Aston Martin's the place he's going to go.
Vish, does Lewis have that much sway?
At Ferrari, probably not. No one does.
Yeah.
So where do you think Louis ends up?
I think he might be out of the sport.
You think
really?
So?
He's old as shit.
Yeah.
Does he really want to crank this back up again?
He likes designing the boats, the like.
I'm sure they'll let him go to Montreal and build a little boat so they can win the boat race.
Yeah.
But I think he might retire from F1. Do something else.
All right, guys. Thanks for shattering my dreams. I appreciate it.
Let's be real, man.
You got Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc next year, man. You got a lot to root for.
If we know anything about Ferrari, they'll find a way. It doesn't matter who's designed the car. They will pit unnecessarily, put the wrong tire on, say we're checking repeatedly instead of making decision calls. I mean, this is...
they've done a lot better this year, all right? They had a 1.9 second pit stop as well. I mean, hey, listen, we're getting it together, guys. All right, and I'm still gonna go with Dewey coming to Ferrari, man. You guys leave me alone. Let me live out my dream here. All right, even if it's by myself. What else we got here, Vish? What do we got going on
Well, let's see.
with Gunter Steiner
and Haas they're suing each other.
Oh,
Steiner is suing Haas because he says they didn't fully pay him what he's owed, and that they're using his likeness without his permission. And then they're suing him because he released an autobiography, which includes a bunch of photos and things of Haas that he didn't have the rights to use. So,
wow,
good times. All for a team that didn't win shit.
Yeah, good times.
They should all just hand all of that money to Netflix.
Let's just go right into the fact that they have a driver that's about to be suspended if he so much as taps anybody on a tire.
Well, you know what? His performance in Miami was warranting of a suspension.
Yeah.
So
he was really bad in Miami.
Take your mess. Well, sure. I they were joking like, wonder what else you get penalized for. That's like under investigation again. Like, oh my god, what else did this guy do?
And I love how he tries to excuse it by saying, "Oh yeah, I'm helping my teammate get more points by backing up the other drivers." No, dude, you're just not that good anymore. Like, come on, K-Mac. Like, go drive in IndyCar and fight with Roman Grosjean again.
Talk about
that might be where he's headed.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it.
So just another thing to watch out for this weekend.
Yeah,
if you remember at the beginning of the year, Sauber could not get their wheel nuts on their cars correctly. They've allegedly fixed it. So we'll see if their pit stops go. That's why they've had these egregious. I mean, no one cares because they're at the back anyway. But they've had these egregiously slow pit stops to make sure that the lug nuts are. Are
fully seated.
Yeah, because they had an issue with tires coming off. So they've allegedly fixed it. So we'll see what that does. And probably the biggest news item, it's basically confirmed without being confirmed that Logan Sargent's getting shit canned. So
yeah,
shocker.
Well. Here's what happened. So the driver that allegedly Williams wants to replace him with is Antonelli, who's a Mercedes junior driver who's only 17.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means does not qualify for a super license.
Yeah.
Right. And they're trying
on two grounds.
But he has enough points though.
Yeah, but on two grounds. One is you have to be 18 too. You have to be able to hold a valid driver's license, which also in Italy, where he's from, requires you to be 18. So, so he's violating on two grounds. Now he turns 18 in August, but the FIA released that there was an inquiry open as to whether or not he could get a super license anyway.
Yeah.
Which basically meant everyone confirmed that Williams is trying to get him approved to
replace Logan.
To replace Logan, but they need the super license issue resolved. At which point James Vowles now came out and said, yeah, we're looking at 4 or 5 drivers for 25, 26 to be next to for 25, 26 to be next to Albon. So you don't want to change drivers in, as we talked about, there's new car design.
Right.
Now, on that list was not Logan Sargent. So they usually say, and of course, we're looking at Logan too. Didn't even bother with the performative whatever. I mean, he is so fired. So
unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. But yeah, I mean, come on.
But look, I'll say this. I think he got the drive because Colton Herta could not get a super license because Indy cars devalued in the way the FIA does. This is not an FIA series.
Right. Yeah.
That's why Logan Sargent's in that car. However, he has the same amount of points as Albon this year, despite Albon stealing his car for a race. So,
yeah.
Well, they're going to fire him. They're going to put someone else in that car. They suck, man. And so
they're not very good, that's for sure.
No, they're terrible. They have 0 points.
Yep.
And so
like
they can talk all the crap they want to him and blame him for part of it. They literally, his teammate crashed the car. They took his car away, gave it to his teammate, still couldn't score points.
Right.
Yeah.
So, while they're busy talking up Albon, he's not doing shit either. And it doesn't matter who they put in that car. And so I don't know how I personally don't think Logan Sargent's good enough for F1. I think, this is probably the right move. But it sounds like they're doing all of this to kind of distract from the fact that they've built a car that sucks. They've fallen further and further behind the competition, and they basically have no path forward.
Yeah.
But you start throwing driver names out there and all that. Like, what's this 17-year-old kid going to do? You put him in this car.
For sure.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's going to be back there with Albon. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Just bring Latifi back.
Title decider.
Yeah, just put Latifi and Nikita Mazepin on those chairs, in those seats.
Massa spin.
Yeah, and you got yourself a championship winning.
Are we thinking Ollie Berman is going to be the replacement for Lewis when Lewis leaves Ferrari in 2 years?
I think Behrman goes. I know. So I saw it somewhere also. I think he goes to Haas next year. I think he might be one of the Haas drivers next year.
Yeah, but I'm saying even after,
maybe,
because he's the Ferrari reserve driver. Right. I think that's kind of their process, is that they're looking at like 2 or 3 years. Lewis will probably retire. Maybe he gets close to a championship. Maybe he doesn't, depending after 2026. I mean, I don't think Lewis goes past 2026. I think that going into those new regulations, he's not going to want to have to learn another whole brand new car.
Never say never. He may be excited to learn a brand new car.
Maybe. But I would see Ollie Berman being in that seat around that time.
Panthers are on the power play. They need to score right now.
They need to score.
They need this. I know this has nothing to do with F1. We're gonna get into predictions right now. But did you see, guys, that they fired Robert Griffin from ESPN and are replacing him with Jason Kelsey for Monday Night Football?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I just had to throw that in there because I just saw it.
I like Robert Griffin.
I thought he was all right. I thought he was all right. Anyways, let's
not as a quarterback, but as an analyst.
Definitely not as a college quarterback. Yes, but not as a. Oh, come on! All right,
what do we got? Tim Tebow syndrome, and as a great college quarterback, and not a very good, not a very good pro quarterback.
That's correct. Vish, let's do it. What do you got, man?
I have to do it. Max to win.
Boo. Okay.
Carlito second. Leclerc third.
All right.
Checo DNF. It's a surprise.
Ooh.
DNF.
He's getting desperate. That first corner in Miami.
Yeah, that was.
we've seen desperate Checo. He's just gonna run into things until he's out.
Imagine how crazy that would have been if he would have actually hit Max right there. That would have the whole stadium would have just completely blown up.
It would have been serious beef. There's a lot of Mexicans in the crowd.
Did you see when they were in the back and they were all Max goes, he almost got me.
He didn't have no idea.
Yep.
Just minor incident of forgetting to brake into the first go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like how he did get in trouble too for just driving straight across and rejoining and only losing a couple of places. You should go in the back. Put his ass in the back. Anyway.
Anyways, what do you got, Evan?
I'm gonna go Max 1, just because I think that he's not going to let the same thing happen twice. He hasn't lost 2 races in a row in how long? Forever, pretty much. So I can see Max winning, but then I'm going to go Leclerc 2, and it's a toss-up for me between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, but I think it's going to be a Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren top 3. I'll say Lando just because I think they he had such a great last race. Maybe he keeps that momentum going. But I think it's going to be, like I said, a Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren 1, 2, 3, something like that. And then my surprise is going to be K-Mag doesn't hit somebody.
K-Mag
does not hit somebody.
That is borderline cheating. What are the chances that he's going to actually hit someone who's not?
Well, I mean, obviously his chances are pretty good. I mean, he's got 18 points.
Now I'd love to see it. Now
that's the whole thing. Max is going to be up by 30 seconds. That's the whole thing I'm watching now. It's hit someone. You're not focusing on the race for 19th enough. We need to see this.
That's funny. That's going to be funny. How about this? I'm gonna go against the grain since he hasn't done it. He has never done it, or if he has done it, it's been a long time ago. But Max, I think, doesn't win this race either, and I'm gonna go Leclerc, Max, and
I mean, Leclerc has won races back when the.
No, I'm saying that Max hasn't lost two in a row.
Oh, that okay.
So I'm gonna go Leclerc, Max, and Jesus, do I really want to do that? I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go with I'll go with Sainz in third. And
what is it you didn't want to do?
I was gonna go Max and Checo, but I don't like them that much, so I'm not gonna do that. I know, so stupid. It's so stupid. Let's go with Alonso on pole. How about that?
That's about the only time he's been up there.
They're gonna throw Max out of Red Bull.
It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain in Q3.
Okay, so now you have an active god that's not in the forecast.
That's correct. It's gonna rain in Q3, and Alonso's gonna get it.
This is also assuming Alonso's in Q3. A lot of hoops to jump through here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's why it's that's why it's an asterisk. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good. That right there is a surprise prediction.
That's a surprise for sure.
Because I always cop out the DNF because that could happen.
Yeah, DNF guy.
Yeah, the DNF is the cop out. Actually having Fernando perform at that level, that is
interesting.
That would be interesting. Keep it locked here. We'll have an update for you next Tuesday, obviously at 9:00. We'll talk about Imola, and then we'll look at Monaco coming up ahead after this, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So make sure you check us out on Twitter at F1_5 Reasons or X, whatever you want to call it.
We got baseball coming up next.
We got Canes on deck coming up.
Last series. The Canes won tonight. Outlasted FIU. I'm sorry.
Wow. What was the score?
6-5. Big time win. Won the season series against FIU now.
What do we call the FIU series? Is there a nickname for that? The 836 series or something?
I don't think there is.
I don't think 836 works either. That's wrong direction.
Yeah, maybe.
You got to go across to downtown Miami to.
No, but you got to go way south. That's not.
Yeah, true.
Maybe the Palmetto.
The Palmetto series.
Yeah, the Palmetto series, maybe.
Nothing really goes through.
Yeah.
No, the 826, but not really.
It's kind of northwest of Gables is where FIU is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways,
the stuck in traffic series. So you'll never get there if you try to drive between the two.
The bird road series.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's more like it.
The bird road series.
Jane, again, thanks for the gear. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day, and of course, we will see you guys next Tuesday, 9:00. Don't miss it. Adios.
Bye, guys.